Hello again. Now it's time for our reading points. Let's look from sentence number 5. Well, I try. I mumbled. Now, mumbled is an interesting phrase when we're talking about talking. That means 중얼거렸다. But let's look at some other phrases that are useful to use when you're talking about talking. First, whisper. Whisper. This means to speak very softly. Maybe when we're telling someone a secret or something that shouldn't be heard. For example, she leaned in and whispered that she had a surprise for me. Hey, I have a surprise for you. Mutter. Now this means to speak quietly and unclearly, but it's a little bit emotional, often annoyed. He muttered something about how unfair it was and walked away. It's so unfair. 이런 느낌이에요. Mumble is less emotional. Maybe you're nervous or not confident about something. That's when we use mumble. Hi, nice to meet you. This would be more of a mumble rather than a mutter. For example, my student mumbled that they were sorry without looking up. I'm sorry. Like this. Next, slur. To speak unclearly, blending words together. This is common when maybe you're too tired or, like I was acting there, a little bit drunk. So, for example, after 2 drinks, he started slurring his words. Time go. Like this. Next is stammer. This means to speak with repeated sounds or pauses. Like like this. For example, I stammered when I tried to introduce myself to the audience. My name is Gabrielle. This is stammering. Stammer when we're nervous, or sometimes we have just a little bit of a speech problem that we can fix. Stammer. Next, ramble. This is to talk a lot in a disorganized way. This also can be when you're nervous and you just can't stop talking. Like, oh, well, this weekend I'm going to do this, and then we're going to go over here, and but that place is nice too, but this is over here, and then, I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to go over here and talk about this, and it's just like at some point, stop. Rambling. If someone is rambling, you might say, honey, you're rambling. Stop it. Calm down, right? For example, he rambled on about his weekend plans, jumping from topic to topic, talking about this and talking about that, and we're just like, okay. Next, blurt out. This is to say something suddenly and without thinking. For example, she blurted out the answer before the teacher finished the question. At that time, she says, oh, sorry, teacher, I blurted it out by accident. Now, let's practice these different speaking styles using this sentence. I didn't mean to say that. Now, let's whisper it. I didn't mean to say that. Mutter it. I didn't mean to say that. Mumble it. I didn't mean to say that. Slur it. I didn't mean to say that. Stammer it. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. And ramble it. I didn't mean to say that. She was talking to me like this, so I started to get nervous, and maybe next time I won't say that. I don't know. How can I prevent stop? Right? Ramble. Blurt out. I didn't mean to say that. Okay, good. Next, from sentence number 6. She gave me a look that made me feel like I was back in elementary school getting scolded by a teacher. Getting scolded means 혼나다. Getting scolded. Now let's talk about some similar phrases that also go along with getting scolded. First, the one that we studied. Getting scolded means to be spoken angrily for doing something wrong, usually by an authority figure like a teacher or maybe your boss. We wouldn't use this in like 부부끼리 because usually one person doesn't have power over the other in that case. You might say nagging or complaining about. For example, I got scolded by my mom for staying out too late. when I was young, I had a curfew. It was 11 o'clock. If I stayed out after that curfew, I would have gotten scolded, but I never stayed out past it. I was a good kid. Next, get told off. Now this is a little bit stronger than get scolded. It means to be criticized, especially in a direct and annoyed way. For example, he got told off by the teacher for not doing his homework. Now this, as I said, is a little bit stronger than get scolded, so that imagery would be just a step higher. Even stronger is get chewed out. This is to be yelled at or harshly criticized, usually by someone angry or in authority. This is like if you make a mistake on a project and your boss is just angry and they yell at you for an hour, this would be getting chewed out. So, for example, I got chewed out by the manager for being late again. Nobody likes getting chewed out. So hopefully you've never gotten chewed out before. Now there's one more here. And this isn't very strong. Instead, get lectured means to be given a long, serious talk, often with advice or moral lessons. This is very often used from parents to children or somebody who's giving you advice about something. For example, I got lectured about responsibility after not completing my chores. So instead of like yelling or scolding, this is just like, hey, responsibility is important, and if you didn't complete it, blah, 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 blah. We're kind of lecturing or teaching. In that case, we can say, get lectured. Well, I feel the same way every time I come here. I feel like I should have done a better job taking care of my teeth, I admitted. Now, let's talk about the difference between I feel the same way, I agree, and I can relate. These are all very good 공감 phrases. I feel the same way. This is to have the same emotion or reaction. It's used for sharing how we feel in a deeper, more personal way. 아, 너도 그런 기분이 있어? 나도 그런 기분이 있는데. 이럴 때, I feel the same way. It was so frustrating when they ignored our hard work. I feel the same way. 공감하는 거죠. 아, 그거 진짜 답답하고, 아, 나도 그런 기분이 있어요. I feel the same way. Next, I agree. This is more about thinking the same thing. 뭔가 의견을 동의할 때. Used for opinions, suggestions, arguments, or ideas. For example, I think, 나는 이렇게 생각해. I think we should start earlier tomorrow. I agree. Last one, I can relate. This is focused on understanding, 뭔가 이해하는 거. We understand and we empathize because we shared similar experience. For example, yeah, I'm so tired these days because of the baby waking up all night. I might say, oh yeah, I can relate. Ian used to do the same thing. 이안도 그런 경험이 있었으니까 나도 너의 경험을 이해할 수 있다. 이런 느낌이에요. I can relate. Now, let's do a little quiz and see if you can get that 느낌 차이. Number 1. I felt so nervous before giving the speech at the party. Dang! Even if it's in front of just a few people, my hands start shaking. Now, what's our clue here? I felt. 뭔가 기분이 느낄 때, 그 기분이랑 똑같이 느낄 때 어떻게 써요? I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Even if it's in front of just a few people, my hands start shaking. Oh. Next, ever since we had Ian, I've been waking up a lot earlier. He's made me into an early bird. Now, an early bird is somebody who naturally wakes up early. Dang! To that, it's almost impossible to sleep when you have a baby. Now, here, ever since we had Ian, I've been waking up a lot earlier. What is this? 경험이잖아요. 그러면은 여기는 I agree보다는 I can relate to that. 나도 똑같은 경험이 있었거든. I can relate to that. It's almost impossible to sleep when you have a baby. And last, I think we should cancel our trip. You know, I want to go, but the weather keeps getting worse. What if it rains in the middle? Here, I think. 나는 이렇게 생각해. 그러면은 약간 의견을 동의하는 거잖아요. 그러면은 I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's too dangerous. Let's just stay home. But what if you want to disagree with something in this situation? I'll give you some phrases you can use. First, I see it differently. This is a polite phrase that you can use in formal situations as well. I mean, when you're disagreeing with someone, you definitely want to be polite because it's good manners. Always avoid saying, I don't agree or I disagree, because this is very direct and strong. We avoid that. You can get in trouble saying that. The other person will get angry. Next, I'm not sure I agree. 아까 얘기했던 것처럼 I don't agree, 이거는 조금 더 푹신푹신하게 들리고 Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with you, but I'm acknowledging your opinion. Last, I'm not convinced. This means I need more evidence in order to believe what you're telling me. 아직 아닌 것 같아. I'm not convinced. But it leaves the opportunity for being convinced. Number 10. Maybe next time I'll actually stick to my flossing routine. Maybe? Here, what was stick to? It is 지킬지도 모르겠다. 지키다. 뭔가 stick to. I'll stick to my goals. Now let's look at some similar expressions. Stick to, as we talked about, is to continue doing something and not change it. This is a very casual phrase that is common in spoken English. It's hard to stick to a diet when everyone's eating cake. 너무 맛있게 보이잖아. 꼭 내 앞에서 먹어야 돼. It's so hard to stick to my diet when you're eating that in front of me. Next, adhere to. This is about following or obeying a rule or standard strictly. 뭔가 규칙이나 뭐 수치 있을 때 이렇게 쓸 거예요. This is much more proper and formal. For example, all employees must adhere to the company's dress code. This implies that if you don't follow or adhere to these rules, you could get in trouble. Keep up with. This means to stay current or maintain the same speed or level. Now, if you like fashion, maybe you have on your phone some fashion things that you're always looking at. You can say, oh yeah, I always keep up with the latest fashion trends. Another example, I can't keep up with all these messages in this group chat. Now, let's act. We're going to put all of these phrases and some new other great phrases into a conversation. First, let's go over it. Hey, how's your new workout routine going? Still sticking to it? Kind of. Well, I was doing well for the first 2 weeks, but things got crazy at work. You know, it's hard to keep up with everything. I can relate. 여기는 I can relate. 나도 그런 경험이 있었어. Once the schedule gets packed, it's easy to fall behind. Now, here, gets packed means 빡빡해지다. 특히 schedule. 스케줄이 빡빡해질 때 it's easy to fall behind, get behind on what we're doing. Exactly. My gym has all these new rules now, and we have to adhere to a bunch of safety protocols. Now, protocols. Like I said, 뭔가 수치나 규칙 나올 때 adhere to is commonly used. So, safety protocols 뭘까요? 안전 수치 아니면 뭐 안전 규칙. 근데 규칙보다는 조금 더 포멀하고 높은 톤. Safety protocol. 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 And honestly, it's kind of overwhelming. What is overwhelming? 정신없어. 안전 수치가 새로운 거 너무 많아서 진짜 정신없고 너무 어렵다. So I'm getting behind. I was doing well, but not so much. Sounds like a lot. But hey, even showing up once or twice a week is better than nothing. Don't be too hard on yourself. 자기는 너무 몰아붙이지 마. You're doing good. Once or twice a week, 그거 충분해. True. I'm trying to get back on track. 여기는 track 볼까요? Think about if you're a runner. And you're a runner, you have shoe. the track that you run on. Now, here is our goal, 목표. 잘하고 있으면 we're gonna stay on track. But 약간 아이고 다이어트는 오늘 치팅 데이인가 피자 먹고 싶은데 핫! That means we got off track. Uh-oh, I got off track. 근데 이제 정신을 잡고 다시 oh yeah. This is get back on track. So we can say I'm trying to get back on track this week and really stick to my plan. Hey, you can do it. You can get back on track. It's time to get back on track. So, get up, stand up, shadow with me. Ready? How's your new workout routine going? Still sticking to it? Kind of. I was doing well for the first 2 weeks, but things got crazy at work. It's hard to keep up with everything. Yeah, I can relate. Once the schedule gets packed, it's easy to fall behind. Exactly. My gym has all these new rules now. We have to adhere to a bunch of safety protocols, and honestly, it's kind of overwhelming. Sounds like a lot. But hey, even showing up once or twice a week is better than nothing. Don't be too hard on yourself. True. I'm trying to get back on track this week and really stick to my plan. That's all for our reading points. I will see you in our review. Bye-bye. Usually quickly or briefly, and this is neutral tone, so it can be formal and it can be informal. Now, I hear a lot of mistakes with favorite because it's a really common word that almost all English students know,